Thank you very much. With your permission, Robbie and Kelsey, I'd like to receive this award in both my name and in the name of my father, Mario Cuomo, which I'll explain in a moment. And I'd like to ask my mother, Matilda Cuomo, to join us to receive this award. Well, thank you. Thank you all very much. I'm honored to receive this award. And let me begin by first praising Kelsey Louie and GMHC. Let's give them a big round of applause for all the good work that they do. And Hector Extravaganza and the House of Extravaganza. And to Joy Reid and Speaker Corey Johnson, who's here, and Brad Hoylman, who's on his way. Alfonso David, who's the head of HRC. Alfonso was my counsel for many years. He couldn't keep up the pace, so he retired to HRC, but he's still my brother. Alfonso David. To Robbie Kaplan, who is my hero. She has fought these fights for many years, and she wins. God bless Robbie Kaplan. And Rachel Levine, a great Democratic activist, and their son, Jacob. And to all of you, thank you for supporting GMHC. It is a great organization, and it's great to see you here, and organizations like GMHC really give me confidence and fill my heart. Because the truth is, as Robbie said, these are strange and difficult times. Nobody could have imagined that this would happen to this state and this country with all the remarkable progress that we had made over the past few years. You now have a federal administration in Washington that is challenging fundamental beliefs and fundamental achievements that we have taken for granted. We celebrate diversity. We demand tolerance. These are core principles that we have made a reality, and they are under attack. You have a federal government that is trying to take this country backwards, period. And what they're doing is even worse, because they are metastasizing a cancer of fear and division through the body politic in this country. They are demonizing differences, and they're trying to turn one American against another. And they're trying to go exactly opposite everything we believe. They believe that it is okay to discriminate based on sexual orientation. They want to give store owners the right to deny LGBTQ customers. They want transgender people out of the military, and they want them out of their lives. They endorse anti-LGBTQ judges, and they push them through the Senate at lightning speed. If they had their way, they would want to put the LGBTQ community back in the closet. That's what they're really thinking. But as hard as they may try, I promise you they are going to fail, because there are places and there are people who know better. Because we will rise and we will resist and we will fight back, and we are going to win. And at the forefront of that crusade is the state of New York, because that's what New York does. New York State, at her best, is the progressive leader for this nation, and always has been. The women's rights movement started right here in New York and Seneca Falls. The civil rights movement started right here with the NAACP. The modern environmental movement started right here at Storm King. The labor rights movement started here after the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. The LGBT rights for movement started right here at Stonewall. New York is the place that rises and resists first. Larry Kramer began what became the modern LGBTQ movement in 1981 right here in Manhattan. Larry Kramer was the first activist to bring to attention the frightening and debilitating new disease, what they called at the time gay cancer. And while the federal government stood paralyzed, and while other states were in denial, New York State was the progressive leader, as Robbie said, not just in words, but in action. New York State was the first responder to the AIDS crisis. In 1983, Governor Mario Cuomo was the first governor in the nation to stand up and bring attention to the AIDS crisis. He was the first governor. He was the first governor to start a needle exchange program, the first to demand confidentiality of health records, the first to initiate a state's medical research on AIDS, and in 1983, Mario Cuomo gave the first state grant to GMHC. And working together, we have continued that legacy of leadership. Together, we have done more in this state than any state in the nation, period. We passed gender. We passed the gay and transgender panic defense. We banned conversion therapy. We appointed Paul Fineman to the Court of Appeals, the first openly gay judge to serve on New York's highest court. We were the first state to provide Medicaid coverage for hormone therapy and gender affirmation surgery. We prohibited private insurance plans from discriminating against transgender individuals. We funded the most innovative programs in the country, including suicide prevention and programs specifically designed for LGBTQ teens. We created a state police hate crimes task force, which is combating the alarming rise in hate crimes against the LGBTQ community. And we are providing more money and more housing to help people with HIV and AIDS than any time in the history of the state of New York. And we were the first state to turn the corner and set as a goal ending AIDS as an epidemic by 2020. And we are on target to reach that goal. Listen to this. We have increased the number of New Yorkers taking PrEP from 1,600 4 years ago to 32,000 today. And I am proud to announce that last year we saw a record decline in the number of HIV cases, more than double a decline from previous years, over 11%. And at that rate, we will end AIDS as an epidemic by 2020. And when we make our voice heard, our voice is heard nationwide, because New York can roar. And when New York roars, it echoes from coast to coast. And as Robbie said, we changed this country's heart and soul when we passed marriage equality and proclaimed for all the world to hear that love is love, and love does not discriminate, period. In short, New York leads the nation for the LGBTQ community, and we are proud of it. And it honors my father's legacy and Larry Kramer's legacy and the legacy of the Stonewall movement from day one. And we're going to continue that fight with more strength and more energy than ever before, because the odds are higher than ever before. And it is literally a fight for the soul of this nation. And we're going to win that fight because we have great crusaders for justice like Robbie Kaplan. We have great advocates like Kelsey Louie. We have great officials like Corey Johnson. We have great organizations like the GMHC that is fighting for us every day. And because we have New Yorkers who refuse to go back to the dark days and are going to light the way forward. We're going to win, because at the end of the day, love triumphs over hate every time, and that is the New York way. Thank you, and God bless you.